Hello again, everybody. It's me, Marcus, and I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Eyes Like the Sky by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Been a long while since I came back to this band. I actually can't remember the last song I heard from them, but I love this band. Honestly, they're one of my favorites that I've listened to on the channel, and kind of one of my favorites in general nowadays. I love their music, love their style, very wacky and weird, and I'm very excited to listen to this song. Because I do have so much respect for this band. As always, this does come as a request, so if you would like to request something, please leave a comment down below, and I will be sure to get to it. Alright, enough talking from me. Let's listen. Again, Eyes Like the Sky, Eyes Like the Sky by King Giz. Let's go.
Bad white men call him the devil. The Yavapai call him Eyes Like the Sky. The story takes place in the hinterlands of the newly formed United States and Territories in the years before and after the great conflagration called the Civil War. Men roam and fight each other simply to stay breathing. Muskets give way to repeating rifles. Cannons give way to Gatling guns. War nurtures weapons. Weapons clear the land. Deserts of the Southwest, old hatreds grow into new ones. Old beliefs are shattered by gunfire and charging horses. Into this cauldron of fire rides a young man who becomes a shadowed legend. His name even takes on the mantle of the bogeyman in some homes. Among the first Americans, his name is exalted from wickiups to longhouses, teepees to cliff dwellings. Among the men of the Badlands, he is feared for his silent walk and swift, economical dispatching of his enemies.
You know, this band never ceases to amaze me. Like, they can do it all. You know, their versatility is astounding, and I just feel like everything I hear from them, I end up loving. And they are just so clearly just way out there in how they make music. Like, you know, I think the first song I had ever heard from them was Mars for the Rich, and that leans a little bit more on the heavy metal side. It is a bit of a heavier song. And then I don't know what the second song I ever heard from them was, but you know, I heard a few songs here and there. I heard like Psy Boogie, which was totally different. More of like a techno type song. I don't even know what to call that. Then I hear songs like Sense, which definitely sound more like a bit of an indie pop sound. You hear songs like Hentai Yumi and the murder of the universe. That whole suite. You hear I'm Not in Your Mind suite. You hear the Lord of Lightning versus Balrog suite. And that to me is like their signature style, like the fast-paced, very hectic rock style. And then they release this, like some like country western, and I do mean like western, like old-timey western sound. That wouldn't be out of place like in a western movie, right? Like just so cool. This band just like seemingly does it all. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I joked about this one time, and that's probably why you guys recommended this song to me, because I was like, wow, these guys really do it all. What's next? They're gonna make a country album, and I think some of you were like, actually, and wow, this band is just like, they're so versatile. Like this to me works just as well as any of the other songs I've heard from them. So I love this band. Like I said, they've become one of my favorites, not only that I've done on the channel, but just one of my favorites in general. So anyway, let's break it down. Let's talk about each part like we normally do. Let's, of course, start with the lyrics. Very spoken word here. There's a little bit of information. The title track plays out like the opening credits of a spaghetti western film, very clearly, with exciting western-themed music, with the sounds of Old West guns firing intermittently. Broderick Smith's dialogue serves as a prologue for the upcoming story. Smith establishes the story's setting, taking place in the American Western frontier right before the American Civil War. Amidst a wild and chaotic environment, a legendary hero by the name of Eyes Like the Sky is both revered and feared by everyone. It says it was written by Stu Mackenzie, who I very clearly recognize from King Gizzard, and then Broderick Smith, who apparently is a British-born Australian singer-songwriter, harmonica, guitar, and banjo player. He was a member of Carson and the Dingoes. So I wondered, did they take the lyricism, I guess, or if you want to call it that, from like an old Western movie or like an old-timey band, or was it written specifically for this album? I mean, I truly don't know that much about the history of it, but man, I really want to listen to this album now, because this was very clearly meant to be like just an intro to kick off the rest of the album. It really does seem like King Gizzard likes to make a lot of songs and albums that really flow. So you can listen to I'm in Your Mind. You can listen to I'm in Your Mind just by itself, but it's more enjoyable when you listen to I'm in Your Mind, I'm Not in Your Mind, Cellophane, and then I'm in Your Mind, Fuzz. It's really more enjoyable when you go through all four like that. Same with the Lord of the Lightning versus Balrog. Same for Hentai Yumi, right? It's just so I feel like this was just a single step in a much bigger story. So I'm really looking forward to getting the rest of this album out here. So anyway, let's talk about the lyrics. The bad white men call him the devil. The Yavapai call him Eyes Like the Sky. This story takes place in the hinterlands of the newly formed United States and territories in the years before and after the great conflagration called the Civil War. Men roam and fight each other to simply stay breathing. Muskets give way to repeating rifles. Cannons give way to Gatling guns. War nurtures weapons, but weapons clear the land. I thought that was a really interesting line. In the deserts of the Southwest, old hatreds grow into new ones. Old beliefs are shattered by gunfire and charging horses. Into this cauldron, of fire rides a young man who becomes a shadowed legend. His name even takes on the mantle of the boogeyman in some homes. Among the first Americans, his name is exalted from wickiups to longhouses, from teepees to cliff dwellings. Among the men of the Badlands, he's feared for his silent walk and swift, economical dispatching of his enemies. What an interesting line. Swift, economical dispatching of his enemies. I like to think that maybe he doesn't use a whole lot of bullets, right? It's just it's a one-shot kill kind of thing. So very interesting on the lyrical side. Again, I'm not sure if this was written specifically for this album or if they are sort of taking it from another source. But it was very interesting. It definitely played into that whole, again, spaghetti western vibe of the lone gunman, right? The hero. It really makes me want to go back and play Red Dead 2 again, because I had a ton of fun with that game, first of all. And two, it's just it's a hell of a game. But this vibe really calls back to that. So really interesting here. I mean, I'm a sucker for the Wild West and stuff relating to it. And again, hence why I love Red Dead so much. But yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's a really good way to introduce, I guess, the album, especially if the album is very similar to this thematically. I'll have to go really listen to it, but yeah, it was pretty cool. And lyrically, I just think the spoken word nature of it really worked here. I was expecting something a little bit different, just being King Gizzard, but it makes sense here. I think as far as the instrumentation goes, again, had that nice like spaghetti western sound. The guitar sounded great. I'm struggling to recall like the melody, but it was like dun 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 or something like that. But that was really enjoyable. I like that. It was a little like repetitive, but in a good way. Like it really let you lean into that. I was hoping for a moment where it would kind of pick up and really take off and go a little faster, but it kept kind of the same pacing to it, which I thought was fine. But I'm hoping that later on in the album they will kind of give us that faster pace, like spaghetti western style music. But instrumentally, I think it was good as like an introduction. Again, very reminiscent of watching like the lone gunman, the hero, walk down the dust laden street. So it worked for me. I give it a thumb up instrumentally. I'd give it more if I think it would have excited me or interested me a little bit more, but it was still very enjoyable for what it was. And then as far as replay value goes, I'll be honest, since this is kind of an introduction, I feel like to the album, I really want to hear what else the album has in store first before I really can say how this is going to play into my listening habits, because, I could see myself listening to this song again, just on its own or whatever, but I have a feeling, just a gut feeling, that more songs down the line in this album are going to be much more interesting for me, and much more enjoyable for me. So I'm like, okay, this might be one of the weaker ones on the album. I feel like, again, a cool introduction to an album, so if I'm going to listen to the album, front to back or whatever, this you can't skip this song for sure, but when it comes down to just listening to this song on its own, I really don't see myself doing that much. So I'll give it like just 1 thumb up for replay value. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. I'm just thinking about just practically, like, am I going to want to come back to listen to this? And the answer is like, maybe. It depends on the context, and it really depends on how the rest of the album shapes up. So overall, I enjoyed the song a lot. And again, I just love King Gizzard, so you're definitely going to see more from them in the future. Thank you for whoever requested this one. As always, if you would like to make a request, please leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to get to it. If you enjoyed the music as much as I did, definitely go support the artist. Go listen to their music wherever you can. One place you can definitely find some King Gizzard is going to be in my Spotify playlist. It's in the description below. It has every single song that I've heard so far on my channel. And you know what? I say that, it's been a while since I've updated it, so I guess that phrase isn't true anymore. It has almost every song I've listened to so far on my channel, and once I update it, it will have every single song I've listened to on my channel. If you want to support me, just all the normal stuff you do on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.